Welcome back to a new video. So this was my Friday workout, which I did with, well, I went live with it, but I also just did a bunch of waves. And so a really productive workout. Didn't have any misses, had some bad reps, but nothing that was I would say an actual miss. I guess there was one with 85 kilos that you could kind of call a miss, but all of the heavier attempts were makes, which was good. I was feeling pretty good on this day. Wasn't really sure, how much I'd be able to do, or at least how productive I would be during the session, but loaded up on a bunch of caffeine and planned out to do waves. The first one ending at 100, the second one ending at 105, and the third one going up to 110. And then clean jerk, similar thing with the waves. The first one going to 125, second wave going to 135, and the last one ending at 140. And then did some pulls, which the pulls I did different than what I originally planned. I was just going to do triples, which I planned to do waves with the pulls, but that would have been too much volume, especially with how fatigued I was by the time I got to them. And I think just in general would just been too many repetitions. But I changed them to be one regular snatch pull and then two hang snatch pulls below the knee. And I really like those, more constant tension, and made them more difficult. So I think I'll definitely bias those if I'm doing pulls, to just do one regular pull and a hang pull, or one and two like I did in this session. There's the 85 that was kind of a make, kind of a miss. That was one that's like, if I was really trying hard to run it out, I could have, but it's 85 kilos, so I'm not going to run it into the shelf to try to save it. And the rest of the reps were feeling pretty good. I was happy with that. I've been spending a lot of time, so I don't know if anyone sees any of the live stuff I do. I did a mobility session where I was essentially doing classic SOTS presses and then snatch grip SOTS presses as well, and essentially is trying to stretch out my left shoulder, because what I'm kind of noticing, particularly when I get to heavier weights, is that it finishes in front of my right shoulder, and so then I end up missing kind of, I don't know if you're able to see it here on this 110. No, this actually was just a really good rep. But on some of the other reps, like the first 105, I remember was kind of pushed forward a little bit. And because the mobility is limited on the left side relative to the right, what I'm noticing is that the rotation of it is a bit slower, or at least that's one of the issues of it being a little bit tighter on that side right now. And so doing some mobility actually in the morning of this session. So I came out in the morning and did some regular SOTS presses, so like clean grip in front. I just had my heels elevated so I could actually get the bar behind my head, and I really liked that. It felt really good. It was like a good mid-back pump as well slash stretch. It's hard to really describe it, but you're just really kind of flexing hard to get the bar behind your head. So I was really it just felt really good to do that. And then I did it again before this session, so I think it's something that I'm going to try to implement as like a general warm-up before all of my sessions, just because it's not really physically taxing. Like, I'm not like getting fatigued, but what it is allowing, but it's more taxing like a dynamic stretch. It's kind of hard to exactly describe the feeling, but it's definitely like a difficult position to get into. And I think getting good at I call it the classic SOTS press, so just a clean grip in the front, like getting good at that will just be good for my shoulders in general, just to really, because I've really never been able to do that movement with any sort of without shoes on, without elevation. It's always been really difficult. So doing that, I think, will just be generally good for both my shoulders and my upper back and everything. And it kind of serves a dual purpose of a warm-up, which is usually what I find is the best warm-up, the warm-up that kind of hits multiple areas. So obviously, sitting in a full squat is going to warm up my legs as well. So not only am I warming up my back, my shoulders, and I'm also warming up my legs, which kind of serves multiple purposes. Because before, I would just move the bar around, squat, press, like do all the components of it, which is fine. Like, it works well. This 140 was really stinky, but the clean SOTS press, I definitely think is something I need to do very frequently, and just kind of as a general thing before every session. And it's nice too, because with my heels elevated, I can kind of just immediately do it. I don't have to really fight myself, because when I don't have shoes on, or if I don't have my heels elevated, or both, in the case of what I did before this session, I had my shoes on and I elevated my heels, I end up just like being really far forward, and it just is really uncomfortable. And I don't think I'll ever get to like a perfect position, like I'm Lu Jun or something, just because I'm 5'11", so I'm just a bit too tall for productive squat jerks. And I also don't have extremely mobile shoulders naturally, so I think that would have been something if I would have been doing squat jerks at 8 years old, I probably would be able to at this point, but my shoulders are kind of locked into the place where they're going to be, and I don't think they're going to change too much. I think, obviously I can improve, but am I going to be a squat jerk? No, because that just feels unpleasant, or it feels unpleasant to think about. And I've only ever done up to, I think, 60 kilos with like a full squat jerk. It's just so hard to get out of the bottom of that full squat. But productive session, as you saw, no real misses, but hit some waves. And I kind of want to, like, the weird part is, like, I just want to do this session every day and just swap out the pulls for squats. And I'm not necessarily just do snatch singles, but I really like the waves. So what I was kind of thinking for the next session was to do some sort of snatch complex, and to do it where the top of the first wave ends at 90 and then progress up to where the last one ends at 100. And then for like the clean and jerks, and instead of that, maybe power clean and push press, and then scale the weights down and then have squats. So I might just keep doing that. Honestly, it was kind of a fun session in that regard, but and a good amount of volume too, I think. But anywho, that's it for this one. I'll talk to you on the next one. Have a great day. Peace.